Hi guys, welcome back to Simply Quinoa. I'm super excited that you're here today because we are making pizza, one of my absolute favorite meals of all time. This pizza is really healthy. It uses quinoa as the base, and I've actually added in a little bit of spinach to make it this gorgeous, vibrant green color. Then for toppings, we're keeping it totally vegan. It is a vegan pesto that I've made at home, and I'll link to the recipe below. And then some spinach, some artichokes, and some nutritional yeast. So it's really very basic, but it is so delicious. You are going to love it. So let's dive in and see how to make it. So the first thing we'll need to do is soak some quinoa. You'll add 3/4 of a cup of quinoa into a glass jar, top it with some water, and I usually cover it by like an inch maybe or so, so it's probably about 2.5 cups of water. Stir it together, and then we just need to let it soak overnight for 8 hours. Once the quinoa's been soaked, just rinse it in a fine mesh strainer and then add it into a blender. You'll add in all the quinoa into the blender, then you'll top it with 1 cup of spinach, fresh spinach, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and 1/4 cup of water. Then you'll just turn the blender on high and let the whole thing come together to form a thick and smooth dough. Next, you'll want to line your cake pan. I used a round 9-inch cake pan with parchment paper, spray it with some nonstick cooking spray, and then pour the pizza crust batter into the pan. And then as you'll see I'm doing here, you'll just want to poke down the corners of the parchment paper so that it helps you get a circular crust. And then you're ready to bake it, and it goes into a 425-degree oven for 16 minutes. After the 16 minutes, you'll just want to slide the cooked crust onto a baking sheet that is also lined with parchment paper, and then take the corners of the parchment paper and just flip the crust over onto the baking sheet, and then you'll pop it back in the oven for 10 more minutes. For the toppings, we're just using some vegan pesto that I made at home, some fresh chopped spinach, and some canned artichoke hearts. And we'll start by topping the cooked crust with the pesto. I used probably, I would say, between 1/3 and 1/2 cup of pesto. And you'll just want to spread it around evenly so that it coats the entire crust. And then we will top it with our chopped spinach. I probably used about 1 cup, maybe a little bit more here. And then the artichoke hearts, which I probably only used about 1/4 cup. And you just spread them out evenly so that it looks pretty. And then you will pop it back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes until the spinach has kind of gotten a little bit wilted and the artichoke hearts are starting to brown. Once you pull it out of the oven, you'll see it'll be nice and cooked, and then we will just slice it into slices. I only cut my pizza crust into 4 pieces because I find that this is more of like a personal sized pizza and it serves 2 people. So I just slice it into the quarters, and then I will top it with nutritional yeast, which I absolutely love because it adds a nice cheesy flavor without any dairy, which is fabulous. And then after the nutritional yeast, I just sprinkled with some microgreens, which make it super springy and a little bit, I don't know, more flavorful and fun. And then it's just time to dig in. Grab a slice, take a bite, and enjoy. So that's how you make my vegan green quinoa pizza crust. I hope you enjoyed the recipe, and if you'd like to see the full instructions on how to make it, you can find that in the description below. I'll leave a link to the full recipe. And I would love for you guys to give this video a thumbs up if you've liked it. And if you haven't subscribed already, feel free to click the subscribe button up there. It is absolutely free, and it will make sure that you never miss a future video or recipe. So thanks for hanging out with me today, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!